Hello and welcome back to another episode of a Cozy Christmas Podcast. My name is Art and I'm your host, and we are running into December now. Here just about to finish up the first week of December, and time is flying by. I hope you're having fun with your friends and family and are able to make time to slow down and enjoy. I have a fun interview to share with you today. Her name is Sarah Joy Kane, and she's been on the podcast before last year. It's close to Christmas time last year. She is an actress, currently has several roles in Busch Gardens Scrooge No More in Williamsburg. So if you live in that area, I hopefully can get out to see it. It sounds like an amazing musical, and we'll talk about it here on the episode. Sarah is an absolute delight to have on, and I hope you follow her on her social medias because she's bringing much needed joy and cheer to the internet. Yeah, so in my interview today, we'll talk about the musical she's in, the challenges of being ready to play 5 different roles with very little notice. And then, of course, we talk about lots of other things. I have a getting to know you Christmas quiz for her that we had a lot of fun with. I should say also she's a military wife, and we talk a bit about life in the military, especially over Christmas time, and how we can help those who serve, as well as their spouses and family. All right, lots of fun ahead, so make yourself comfortable, grab your favorite Christmas snacks, and enjoy this episode and my interview with Sarah Joy Kane. Well, I have a special guest back on the podcast today. Her name is Sarah Joy Kane. She was here last December, and we had a fun. That was probably my funnest episode I've ever done, I think.
Oh, that's a nice thing to say. Thanks for back. I had a lot of fun too. I remember laughing a lot.
Yes. Yeah. We laughed a lot. I think we played a Would You Rather game and ended up saying I'd rather have Egg Nog for breakfast and a bowl of cereal or something. I don't know.
I still need to try that. It's here, and I never did. So maybe here.
Well, be sure to put it on TikTok if you do. So. All right. Well, you might have seen Sarah on your social media accounts like Instagram and TikTok. She's one of my favorite people to follow. Just you really live up to your name, Sarah. Just there's joy and happiness there throughout the year. So we're happy to have you back on the Cozy Christmas Podcast.
Well, thanks, Art. That's so kind. And I was really excited when you asked me to come back and be a guest and talk. I always love chatting with you, and especially about Christmas. Mm-hmm. I think the best things to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I definitely had to have you back on because if you follow her on Instagram, you saw that she's in a musical this year. Sarah is. Why don't you go ahead and tell us all about that? Because that looked very Christmassy.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so excited to be part of Busch Gardens musical Scrooge No More. And it's their own version of A Christmas Carol, that old classic everybody knows. The 3 ghosts that come back and change the grumpy Ebenezer. And this is a really fun, it's about 35 minutes. And we do 4 to 5 shows a day. And it's a really fun kind of reimagining with a little more of a pop rock style. And then your original like musical theater sounding songs. And we have flying in the show. I get to fly across stage, a lot of like high tech stuff and some smoke and some flashing lights. And it really has a lot of heart along with all the like fun, hoopla the show provides. And actually I'm doing something new that I haven't done before in a musical, and I'm swinging the show, which means that I cover 5 of the lead female tracks. So I have to know 5 roles and at any time just be thrown on. So yesterday we had 4 shows and I played the Ghost of Christmas Past, who's very like Glinda from Wicked-esque and goofy and silly and gets to kind of fly across stage. And then for the remaining 3 shows, I was Mrs. Fezziwig, who's larger than life and has huge hoop skirts and a big, big wig. So it's really fun and very stressful. Get ready at any second to kind of just know those 5 roles.
Yeah. My goodness. I think I remember in an email you said you were having like 12-hour practice days
Yeah,
and oh.
is a little tired. It's been a little used the past bit. We started rehearsals for this. Let's see, I believe it was about October 20th. And we had 12 to 14-hour rehearsal days, just really learning the show and staging it. All of the flying and tech aspects, take quite a bit
Mm,
of time to make sure we're safe and comfortable. Um, so we did that for, I think we worked 102 hours
mm,
over like 13 days. So that was a lot. And the most of our show days were called from noon to about 10 p.m. So we also have, 10-hour days that we're just doing the show and
mhm,
having a little bit of downtime in between, which is nice.
mm.
Um, but I think the show is so much fun that even if we're tired after show number 3, there's so much heart, and we see people's faces at the end when the snow is coming down over the audience, and people are crying or reaching up for the snow and connecting so emotionally that it really just pushes us to get right back into that fresh, like this is the first time we've ever done the show
Mm.
feeling. And I haven't had that before with other productions.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, with such long days and many um, shows in a day, does it get to be a little too much? Like I've just had too much Christmas today.
That's a great question. I think we started November 11th, and we're almost to
Mm,
December. So we have been going solidly. I think we've had a couple days off. But this cast really feels like a family. In between
mm,
shows, we like hang out on the couches. We eat lots and lots of snacks. Um,
mm.
Worked on Thanksgiving. We had 4 shows during Thanksgiving, and so we had a huge potluck where we all brought food and kind of got to be each other's family for that day. So I feel like the morale kind of keeps us going, and there's such a joyful spirit with the show itself, and then we have Christmas trees in the backstage area, and it kind of just keeps us motivated maybe. And I mean, it is
Mhm.
only 2 weeks in, so we may get a little Christmas overload and need
Yeah.
to step back and watch something else on our breaks or talk about something else. But so far, no. So far we're
Yeah.
in it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I can't imagine having too much Christmas in my life, but it could happen. I mean,
So in our dressing room too, we have a huge bucket full of tons and tons of different flavored candy canes,
oh no.
and all the time for candy canes and like to refill their sweet tooths during the day. So that's been fun so far to kind of make it a themed thing even off stage.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Uh, Now, I guess what town is this in? Because I have listeners all over the United States.
Uh,
So, um, where are you located?
that's a great question. This is at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So
Williamsburg.
we're
Okay.
kind of right next to Colonial Williamsburg, and
Mhm.
it's a huge amusement park. But this is kind of special in its own way that, there are other shows at the park and they're absolutely wonderful and eye catching. But this really feels like you're on a Broadway adventure. The theater is beautiful. It seats 1,000 people. And we've been selling out. They've been turning people away. So
Oh,
there's a desire to come and watch this while people are also riding roller coasters, and getting funnel cakes. And I love that it marries the two of those exciting things together.
yeah. Well, I would be watching the show and not on the roller coasters. I'm not a.
I Yeah, I'm such a baby when it comes to coasters.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. There's an amusement park near Des Moines, Central Iowa, and my some of my kids like to go occasionally. We don't go very often, but
Yeah.
they always make fun of me. Dad, you come on, you ride this one, and I'm like, no, I'm not getting on that thing.
I like the ones that have the swings that are like, this is not too crazy and out of control. You can still kind of look over the park. It
Mm,
doesn't go upside down and twirl you around. And
yeah,
that's,
no, thank you.
I remember on one, I think it was at like Six Flags one time, and it was a Spider-Man one. So you like
Mm.
start actually on your stomach. And through one part, I feel like my body just kind of checked out and said, peace out. I just felt like I passed out. And after that, I've just said never again. And maybe I will. Maybe I'll get in the, but man alive.
No, no.
So
See,
yeah, I understand.
I kind of have a fear of heights, so that's part of the problem. But a couple years ago, I did go on one, and I kept my eyes closed the entire time. Like I didn't even open, not even once, and it wasn't even one that took you upside down or anything.
Oh, well, I'm proud of you for at least trying and going out there.
Yep,
That's the hard part is actually getting on and getting buckled in because you've committed at that
yep,
happening. You're doing
yeah. Can you stop? Wait, no, let me off.
I changed my mind.
Right, too late. um, well, this musical sounds wonderful, and just based on the pictures, I think it would really get people in a Christmassy mood, for sure. Really well done sets.
Yeah, it's been so fun. And I kind of mentioned before, but there's actual snow that falls on the
Mm,
audience. Not actual snow, it's actually soap. I don't know if I'm
mm,
supposed to do that, but it really looks and feels like snow as it's falling over people. And I feel
mhm,
like that kind of gets them, they feel like 3D in a way. They're part of the production and they just leave with like such a Christmas joyful spirit. It just feels
mm,
like you know, and it's fun
mhm.
to give that, I think, especially this time of year.
Yeah, probably in an area that doesn't see snow very much, if at all. So,
That's true. We've been here just a year now. We got stationed over here. We were in New York City for quite a while
mhm.
before. And we got snow, I think, twice, but it wasn't much last year. So at least every day that we have a show, I will get the snow in my life.
Mhm. And you don't have to shovel.
Yeah. We have from December 1st to December 31st, we have 28 shows, or
Mm,
not 20 shows, but 28 days of like 4 and 5 show days. So there's a lot of Christmas for this area to get to experience if they want to come see the show. 4 days off. So I will be sleeping and eating snacks on those days off.
you only get 4 out of the whole run of
Ye-
the show?
Yeah. But
Oh,
Christmas time, we'll go hard for it for the month and then take a little vacay maybe in January.
well, you would have, earned it, I think, so
I love it.
well, another aspect of your life is that you're a military wife, and I think it was just last year, maybe your husband signed up, and I know you were still getting used to that and what that would entail. So, how's life these days in regards to that?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah. So that it's been an adjustment.
Mm,
We were here the end of October last year. We were stationed. I didn't know anything about military life, but I think I mentioned last year too. I found it was really a blessing. God really brought the Spouses Club of Fort Eustis, which is where we're stationed, into my life. And it's military spouses, wives, and husbands of active duty or retired military, and it's a club. We get together and we have fun game nights, coffee club. We also do fundraisers and we give out scholarships. So it's a time to like have community with others that are kind of going through the same thing and also give back, which I'm sure that you have felt this way too. But when you're lonely and you're in a new place, the best way to like get yourself off of your mind and kind of your depression or is to serve others. And so I found that through that club, giving back to people was so fulfilling.
Mm.
This past month or so with rehearsals, I haven't gotten to participate as much, and it's been a hard thing for me to not be with them as much. But I do know in January I will get to connect again and go to all the fun ice skating things and all of these fun clubs and our luncheons again. So I really
Mm.
look forward to that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we've been able to really help the military base and the folks here as well, but also we did like fundraising for Florida, Hurricane Ian, and American Red Cross. We're able to kind of help with those things. So it goes beyond our state and our club, and we really reach out worldwide, which has been great.
Wow, that's neat, and you can extend yourself beyond, well, even beyond your community, just in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a kind of a far reach that way to really touch other people with resources.
Mhm.
We a great thing is that people do tend to donate for military causes or military families, and we really love that. It's not just about our club, but it's the people on our post and base, and then other states and even countries, Germany and Japan, where these other bases are. People are feeling that love and that outreach, and it's powerful and it's a blessing to be a part of.
Yeah. So how can we? I know I asked this last year, but I think it's a good question to ask. How can we help those in the military? Any particular challenges this year, even as compared to last year?
Yeah, well, I think, and everybody's kind of feeling it, inflation these days, and I think the cost of fuel and just living, a lot of spouses clubs, and this takes some research on people's parts depending on what state or country you're in, but spouses clubs are doing food drives and things like that. And there's a spouses club at most every base, military base. Um, so just food drives. I know my husband and I have benefited too from a an organization called Patriots Pantry. We were able to
Mhm.
full Thanksgiving, dinner, all the fixings, and it's just a donation for
Mm.
the might be struggling a little or not have as much this year. So Patriots Pantry is a great one. I'm sorry I don't have that website on me right now.
No, that's I can probably find it or something. We'll get it on the show notes.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Yeah, and then just researching, the spouses club of insert whatever post or base, uh,
Hmm.
is there, and they'll have things. Um, and also just I think especially around the holidays, I may have mentioned it again, but it is probably the most emotional time because a lot of us are away from family and friends and kind of our home, really, our security. I believe my home is with my husband and wherever God stations us, but it is hard around this time of year to be away from my parents, my siblings. So just, I don't know, taking an extra time to send a text or mail, old school snail mail means
Hmm.
I get a letter from someone, just that I'm not forgotten, around this time of year. I'm thought of, and um, I know that that means a lot to me as a military wife. So I feel like that would be the same. If you know any military in your life, reaching out just in a small way goes a long, long way.
Yeah, and it always seems like each family has their own particular challenges too. From if the spouses are apart, and then if they have children, it's the mom has or the dad, I guess, either case.
Yeah, that's so true. My husband and I don't have children, but I have many, many friends here that do, and they are so
Mm.
strong. I know that their husband or wife is, it's hard for them to be away too, and they're serving their country and doing amazing things. But just kind of coming alongside a person that's back here with the kids, and doesn't even have to be monetarily,
Mhm.
like, hey, you need some extra help around, the yard, or how about putting up decorations? I know that would mean a lot. My husband and I put up our decorations, our lights and our big blow up Santa and snowmen outside. But if he wasn't here, it would be challenging for me to get that all up. So maybe
Mm.
offering that kind of help would be great.
We have some family who was in military. My brother-in-law, well, no, my wife's brother-in-law, uh, he just retired from Air Force, and that transition was kind of difficult, and into finding a job, and what do we do? Do we stay here? Do we move? What do we do? And
Really is. Yeah, I think that's something too I never really thought about, but it does feel like such an um, removed or isolated mini world of our own here. So I think re-entering, the rest of the world can be a little jarring, and there's an adjustment. So having
Mhm.
people alongside and community, and I will say the military has programs like ACS, um, and what does that stand for? Army Community Services,
Mm.
that really help kind of place you and get you ready, and are so
Mhm.
helpful to transition you. But having people that aren't military come alongside and just walk through it with you means a lot.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and ultimately, all of us are impacted because we enjoy the freedoms of our country, that on a daily basis, and just be a great way to say thank you to those who are serving for us. Yeah.
Absolutely. That means a lot to hear you say. I think along those lines and what you just said, sometimes like my husband, the active duty military soldier will be honored a lot, but the wife or the children are sometimes forgotten. And it means so much when someone says like, thank you for your service too. And the sacrifices the spouse and the children make, that goes such a long way to be kind of recognized for that.
Mm.
So thanks for that.
Yeah. I actually have started doing that, not to pat myself on the back, but
No, please do.
but I'm really a great guy. No,
You heard it here, ladies.
that's right.
No, you.
But no, and part of it is watching what my sister-in-law went through. My wife's sister, she seeing her husband gone, or just so consumed by military life, and realizing it's a sacrifice for the spouse as much as it's maybe different,
Yeah,
but it's definitely a sacrifice.
well said. Because I know when they're out and my husband leaves, in a bit. I can't give too many details, but
Mm.
for some training, and like I know he'll be just working so hard out there, but I'll be back here missing him, and but it is different. It is different, but it is a sacrifice on both sides.
I'm glad I can get the inside scoop here from you. So,
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that God's kind of placed me in a position right now to see a little bit more of military life
mm,
and understand. I never thought I would be a military wife, Art. That's
mm,
nothing, that I had ever anticipated or pictured for myself, but it's really been a rich and fulfilling blessing, even with its challenges, to kind of be inside of this life now. So he's working so hard.
I've learned probably a long time ago now, but I've learned that God always likes to surprise you with.
Exciting. That's one thing. I feel like it's always an adventure, being a believer and following, what he
Yep.
has, the ups and downs. We have a peace, in every situation, which is incredible to have.
Well, and that's one of the things I love about Christmas is it, to look at the spiritual side of things, and to see that in Jesus's very name, Emmanuel means God with us. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
yeah.
Such a cool thing. We can just walk alongside all of the things
Mhm.
we. I heard a quote the other day, or maybe it was part of a song, and it said, I don't know what the day holds, but I know who holds the day. And I feel like even and this is a small way to view it, but even in the show, sometimes I'll show up at the theater and I won't know, am I going on for two different roles? Is someone sick? Will someone hurt their leg? And last minute, I have to jump on stage in that costume. So there's always a stressor in my day, but I know that God's going to see me through. he's given me the abilities to really just do the work and trust and breathe. There's a peace in that.
Absolutely. And yeah, that promise that he'll be with us through everything, that means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Pretty powerful for this life to have that.
So for you and your husband, what is Christmas going to look like for you two this year?
Oh, yeah. So it'll be a little different because we do have shows on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm glad we can kind of serve and give that spirit to others during the holidays. But we do get the morning together
Mhm.
until about noon. So we'll definitely have our traditions in the morning and cinnamon rolls and coffee and gifts and prayer and get to spend that time together. And then I
Mhm.
think we'll be there to see the shows on Christmas. So we'll kind of get to share in that just with him in the audience and me on stage and sharing in the Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
so that'll be nice. But yeah, a little different this year.
Sure. Yeah, we're actually doing Christmas a bit different this year too. With it being on a Sunday, there's just a lot going on. So we decided to have our Christmas Eve on Christmas night and then do Christmas Day on the 26th. So we're
Oh,
just pushing everything back a day.
hey, I love that. So you're able to really, really enjoy time together and celebrate. It doesn't
Mhm.
on that exact number, right? It's really
Right.
big, you know, us and gifts and family. I really love that. Well, good for you guys.
Yeah, it was kind of something my son joked about. And then my wife said, that's actually not a bad idea.
Sometimes I have noticed like sometimes we have kids in our show as well, are so smart. They come up with these great thoughts and ideas
Mhm.
that like I would never even think about. So kudos to your son for that.
Yeah, and so now I'm kind of excited about that. And my wife's parents are coming in for a visit, but they're going to come on the day after Christmas, or maybe it's 2 days now. But we'll kind of put some things off so we can have some celebrations with them too. And it'll happen after Christmas Day. But one thing I've learned is that Christmas shouldn't end on Christmas Day. There's the whole season after.
Yes, I agree. I always try to pull it out as long as I can, keep the decorations up. How long do you guys keep the tree and trimmings up?
Well, there's a little bit of a disagreement on that between me and
Oh,
my wife.
oh my Christmas.
Yeah, I would like, at least until January, like 6th or whatever. I don't follow too traditional of like a church calendar, but it just seems like a good day to me. But I know sometimes she's ready for it to come down like New Year's or something.
Oh, that's far too soon. I
Yeah.
as well. I think that ours this last year was kept until the end of January. So pretty late, but
That's
I
pretty late.
want to put it all away yet. I wanted to hang on a little bit longer.
Yeah, no, that's
Good.
inspiring. That's what that is. So
I love that point of view. I'll take that. Maybe
okay.
here. Art said it was inspiring, so we're gonna keep it again.
There you are. You have the Cozy Christmas Podcast stamp of approval to,
Yay! That's all I need. Love
yeah,
it.
absolutely. Like I would probably put it up earlier than we do, but we do it the day after Thanksgiving, which is fine. So,
Do you have yours up already then? And
yep.
oh, I still don't have the tree up. We got the outside. Now we got to focus on the inside.
Well, see, no, I'm flipped. We did the inside. I still need to do the outside. So
Yeah. Well, between the two of us, we've got it all covered.
that's right. Exactly. Um, but yeah, a couple of years ago, I realized decorating was just stressing me out for whatever reason. And so I finally realized, you don't have to do this every year, or, the elaborate things every year. Like give yourself permission to do something simple this year. And so so outside I just put up a string of lights along the porch railing and called it good. And
Yeah.
like it's still Christmassy and I liked it. And
I
yeah.
that, and I think you bring up such a good point. Sometimes we've got to give ourselves grace,
Mm,
especially this season where the expectations are high and it's a comparison to the year prior or years prior. I love that you said this is what it's going to be, and that's okay. And
hmm.
you're not feeling, you don't have the energy to get a haul everything out of the basement, or you can still have joy, without all the trimmings everywhere, and it's less to clean up in January. So
Yeah.
January as we're
Or February, you know.
yeah, February.
Yeah, I think there was one year we kept our tree up. We were in an apartment at the time, and our tree was still up in it was definitely February.
Oh, wow.
Uh, and it wasn't because we loved Christmas so much. It was just we didn't have time to take it down.
I
But
feel like that happens some years too. Yep.
yeah,
Lights will stay up until well into July. And at that point, I think you can just keep them up until December.
yeah, it's good enough. Exactly.
You the threshold. Yep. No, just keep it going.
That sounds good to me. So yeah. Yeah, I was gonna let's go ahead and get into our this cozy Christmas questionnaire I've put together
Yeah.
here.
Yes, I'm excited for this.
We'll see if you are full of Christmas spirit or not here.
Oh, of a Scrooge or a Christmas past. Let's see.
Yes, exactly. All right, and a lot of these are just can be like quick one word question answers or whatever, but elaborate however you feel like. So question one: eggnog or hot chocolate?
Eggnog
All right. Yes, good answer. Although hot chocolate's pretty good, but
with marshmallows and peppermint. Ooh,
mhm.
it's a hard one if you add all the frilly stuff in, but I still think eggnog is a special drink that time of year.
Mhm. Yeah, I can get hot chocolate anytime. I mean, even in summer.
Yeah,
So,
why? Eggnog seems just extra special. Yes.
mhm. Let's see, colored lights or white lights on your tree?
Colored lights.
Okay. Well, that's no.
Is that in disagreement with your preference?
Possibly no. Okay, so this is a funny story. I grew
Yeah.
up with colored lights,
Okay.
and we got married, my wife and I, and she grew up with white lights on her tree.
Oh.
So we had a conflict. So not a
Oh.
serious one, but so we thought, okay, let's maybe alternate that. So the first year, we put the colored lights on, and then the second year we did the white lights, and I thought, oh man, that is really beautiful.
It is really beautiful. I can't disagree with that. I feel like the colored lights make me feel so merry, and it's a little chaotic in a beautiful
Mhm.
way and like a child. It kind of brings me back to my childhood. So maybe that's why.
Hmm. Well, we have colored lights this year, and we did it 2 years ago. My it was my son's last Christmas with us before he went to college, and
Oh,
he'd
wow.
he'd always wanted colored lights. So because I love the white lights so much, I said, you know what, Aaron, I think you're onto something here. Yeah.
Will
It,
son be back to visit this
mhm.
Christmas? Oh,
Yep.
good, good. So you'll have everybody home.
Yep.
Good.
But yeah, so I don't know. What happened was we went back to colored lights because I couldn't find the white lights. I knew I bought a bunch last year, and so I thought, well, I'll just put colored lights up. It's I like it still. And then after I got all the lights on the tree, I went back down to the basement and found the box
Oh,
of white lights. It was right under where the tree was. It was literally sitting on top of the
oh.
tree was on top of the white lights.
So did you take the colored lights down though? You just
No.
kept them on and they're solid for 2022.
Yep, they're gonna be. I'm not taking all those lights off. I like to put a lot of lights on my tree. So
Oh, it's that then. Okay, next year you can do the white ones again.
yeah, maybe we'll alternate. Maybe yeah. All right, and then when do you put up your decorations, and then when do you take them down? We kind of covered that already.
Yeah, we kind of did touch on that. Well, what's today? November 28th. We put up our lights and our blow ups and our peace on earth sign. So I would say probably it is usually after the Thanksgiving parade, but I did have shows that day. So
Mm.
usually Santa comes out at the end and waves in that parade. We say Christmas has started, Christmas season. Yeah, so end of
Mhm.
November. How about you guys?
Yeah, we're the same. The day after Thanksgiving. My wife's birthday is December 2nd.
Oh,
Uh, and so I think in their family they didn't put anything up until after her birthday. But I think that the deal is I have if I make her birthday really really special every year, we can get the Christmas decorations up.
I think that's a fair compromise. Not make her feel super special, but you can have Christmas at the same time.
There, that's right. Yeah. And then, what is your favorite holiday dish, excluding dessert?
Oh, that's a great question because I would definitely give you like five desserts. So, including dessert, I love my mom's green bean casserole. It is so
Mm.
good because instead of the crunchy onions, which are good on top, she does tater tots with cheese on top. So it gives it more of like a warm, filling hash brownie, green bean wonderfulness. So I
Mm.
my mom's Sheila green bean casserole.
No, that sounds good. That sounds really hearty. I like that.
Filling, really good.
We just got a new to us dog
Oh,
last. It turns out she loves green beans.
I think those are good for dogs, though, aren't they? They give them some good nutrients.
Yeah, I had to double check and looked online and yeah, they love them and it has what they need in it. So feel free to give it to them as a treat, as whatever, you know.
Yay! Great. As I create it this year for our Christmas, I'll make sure to give my dogs Rocky and Dallas some green beans.
Mm.
What kind of dog did you get?
She was a rescue dog and she's an Australian Shepherd.
Oh,
She is so cute.
I grew up with an Australian Shepherd when I was younger, so I have
Yeah.
a soft spot in my heart for that breed. Oh,
Oh,
cats.
yeah. She doesn't have. I guess some don't have tails, some do,
Yeah. Mm-hmm, I
and
remember that.
yeah, she just has a little nub back there, and when she gets excited, her whole rear end just is
Oh,
shaking back and forth.
God. I think God has such a sense of humor in
Yep.
those tales. What a little cute thing.
We haven't had a dog in a long time, and I think my wife was really encouraging me to get one for mental health reasons among many things. But we named her Pumpkin. She's got like
Oh,
orange spots and white fur, and it just she's such a lovable critter. So
perfect name for her with the coloring too and the little shaking booty with no tail. Love it.
boy, we're off track again. All right,
About dogs, so I feel
that's
like
right.
that's okay.
Okay, good. How about favorite holiday memory as a child?
Probably we would have Christmas would fall on a Sunday some mornings. And so my parents let us choose one gift and bring it to church to sit with us in service. And I always chose a doll that could talk or make some noise. And they made me promise I wouldn't press on it or pull the thing during service. I had to wait, but I could bring it to show off to everyone at church. And we feel so special. I remember that.
Oh, that's neat. I'm not sure my kids would have had the ability to not make make noise.
Yeah, I can't tell you for sure, but I'm pretty sure I pushed that button and pulled that thing.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you open gifts on or a gift on Christmas Eve?
We do, absolutely. And I think I've heard that actually many people do this, and I thought it was special to my family, but we open pajamas and like a movie or something fun for that Christmas Eve. Do you
Hmm.
guys do that too?
Not so much the last couple years, especially when our kids were younger. You know, we'd have our Christmas pajamas, so that would be the gift we open. Lately, I don't know if my 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 two older boys are one's 18, the other is 20. So I don't know if they're too excited about pajamas these days, but
Oh, that's funny. They have some really cozy, like foot pajamas, that have a hood and you can look like a reindeer or a snowman. Maybe you could get them those. And
yeah. Yeah, I saw one that was the reindeer, and I'm thinking I might need that. That looks
so cozy, don't they?
they do. Yeah.
There are some people in our cast on breaks. There are about 4 people that have footy pajamas and just walk around in those in between shows, and it's so funny to have like Santa, reindeer.
Now, how do you decorate your Christmas tree? I guess is it themed or chaos?
It's a beautiful, chaotic mess. We just have, all the colored lights. And then we have tons of candy canes, mostly so I can walk past and grab one. And then we just have so many wonderful ornaments that have been given to us, my husband and I, or, we were on the road performing together for quite a few years. And so we collected a lot along the way of places we performed or things that were special to us. So, yep, all of our memories are just thrown up there. How about you?
Mhm. Yeah, the same. Often when we go on vacation, if we go somewhere with a gift shop, they're usually selling an ornament
Yeah.
of the town or whatever. So yeah, and then we've got some that represent milestones in our lives. Like this year, our oldest son's his baby's first Christmas ornament broke, and we're like,
Oh,
oh no.
oh, so many years of memory.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to glue it back together.
No, it's pretty gone. So it was,
Oh,
but we have one from him that makes my wife cry just about every time. His birthday is December 12th. So in the hospital, they took a like an ink footprint of him and put it on an ornament ball. So like, what was it this weekend when we decorated? He held the little footprint up next to his big old foot. Now he's like, "Look, mom."
of course she cried. That's so sweet. It's probably 10 times the size now.
It's huge. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
they.
So when my other son was born in October, and we were really hoping we could get something like that again, but I think we ended up doing a handprint for him.
Okay.
But yeah, that's grown a bit bigger too. Yeah. Then for my daughter, we have a clipping of her hair in a glass ornament from when she was a baby. So
Oh, look at all these special ornaments you have from when they were so young. That's special for them to see too, I bet,
yeah.
over the years. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just, it's yeah. So sometimes decorating the tree can get real emotional.
Yes, I understand why.
Yeah.
Have kind of things, but sometimes looking back over the memories, is sentimental and special.
All right. I think I know the answer to this one, but snow, love it or dread it?
Love it. I love it. I wish that we did live in an area that got more snow. I'm saying that now as I'm not inundated feet of snow, but I love it. How about you?
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. I love snow. I'm getting older now, so shoveling it isn't as fun, but
You know what? Snow is so heavy. I forget every time until it snows and we go to shovel it or move it. The weight of that. Woof! Need a
yeah.
something to do the work for you.
Well, I've got three teenagers now, so guys, go out there and
Just put them to work. That's brilliant. I love
yeah,
that.
absolutely. And then let's see. Do you remember your favorite gift?
I think, and it kind of sounds strange, but I remember there was a time where, so my brother, I have an older brother and a younger sister. And I remember when I was about 8, he's 5 years older. I remember that he wrapped a gift for us, and that wasn't usually his thing. My parents would usually buy it and say it was from my brother.
Mm.
But my sister and I opened this box, and at the time we were very into Power Rangers, and he had like a paper route, and he had put all of his money or a large chunk of it together to buy my sister and I this big Power Rangers activity box full of stuff. And I don't know, that really made me feel special. You know, brothers can be kind of like, meh, I'll
Hmm.
just the thought and the sacrifice put behind that for my sister and I, um, that makes me emotional to feel special. Or he listened to what we liked and got that first, and it was a huge surprise. So I think that was probably the most special from my brother.
Yeah. And as a parent, you cheer those moments because you're like, all right,
I bet. Yes, I'm sure my parents were like, yes.
we haven't raised little psychos, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I think we're on question 11 now. Can you ice skate?
Yes, actually, when I was in New York City, I did a lot of background work for movies and TV shows, and I was hired once. Oh shoot, I forgot what the TV show was, but I was hired to be an ice skater, and we had to skate for like 6 hours on the ice for this one scene. I remember how sore and tired I was, but I thought it was cool that I got paid, pretty well just to ice skate all day.
Yeah.
Are you a pretty good ice skater?
Well, I'm no Olympic champion, but
You can stay like upright when you're.
yeah, I actually love it. I love ice skating. I used to do a lot of rollerblading in college. It was the 90s and early 2000s, so that's what everyone was doing.
Like the cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I found ice skating and rollerblading did just really overlap pretty well. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah. That is a very like easy transition, I think, onto.
Yeah. Now, we went, I think last year, there's an arena in Omaha. It's about 40 minutes from us. And every time I would fall down a few times and my kids are like, Dad, you're going to die.
Did fun of you, or were they actually concerned about your?
Well, my daughter was actually concerned and my son was making fun of me. So
Yes. That's funny. Yeah.
I got both. Yeah. At one point, I think she almost started crying. She's like, Dad, you're going to get
Oh
hurt.
no, she was really concerned. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. She's got a big heart.
she sounds like it. That's sweet. Oh.
So what is your favorite Christmas dessert? I know you said you had about five. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I love to make these brownies, double chocolate brownies. I add extra chocolate chips, and then I cut them into Christmas trees, and then I put frosting, and I put M&Ms like ornaments, so they look like Christmas trees. And then I use pretzel sticks for the bottom, so it
Mhm.
looks like a Christmas tree, and they're so good. I eat about 20. I also love pie around Christmas. So even pumpkin, I know that's not Christmas, but warm apple pie with ice cream, a la mode. I think it's such a Christmassy thing. Cinnamon rolls with Christmas colored sprinkles, rolls, lots of extra icing, and then red and green sprinkles on top. Oh, and sugar cookies. I love to decorate those as like Santa, reindeer, all the icing and sprinkles. I guess it's a lot of cookies that I really enjoy. Then there's monkey bread that's kind of like a cinnamon sugar
Yeah.
that you tear apart. How about you? What's your?
Well, now it's those brownie Christmas trees you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that sound good? It looks good, but it tastes so good.
No, that's good. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, this year and last year, it's been gingerbread cookies for whatever reason.
Oh, I have not had a gingerbread cookie in years. I can't
Oh,
even. I'm going to have one in your honor this Christmas to remind myself of what those are like.
yeah. I just made a batch about a week ago, and I like them to be a little softer and not hard and crunchy. But I think I don't know. I did something to the recipe. Some of them came out kind of hard, uh, but that just means you can dip it in coffee and
Yes, ginger snap.
yep.
My always gave me those hard ones. We dipped it in milk.
Yeah. So, but I think it kind of changes from year to year. But pretty much anything with chocolate in it, I'm gonna love it.
Oh, great answer. Yes. Chocolate mixed with peppermint too. Have you ever had like peppermint bark with chocolate around it?
No, I don't think so. I've had that.
Chocolate. Yeah, that's so good. Now I am so hungry for all these sweets, and it's only November 28th.
Yeah, I'm still digesting Thanksgiving dinner. I mean,
That's true. I think I'll be okay.
what is your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, that's a great question. So I love "Oh Holy Night." I used to sing that at church. My dad's a pastor, so it was kind of a special thing. He would preach a great Christmas sermon, and then I'd get to sing "Oh Holy Night" after for the congregation. So that one is just so worshipful, I feel like. And then I really like my husband and I made a Christmas album and we recorded songs together. So I really love Walking in a Winter Wonderland. And I really love It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. We did all those fun ones. There's a lot of like musical theater cuteness in some of those Christmas songs, and I really connect to that. So
Mm.
yeah, Oh Holy Night, and then those cute like It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. How about you?
I like In the Bleak Midwinter.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is probably
Yeah.
one of the prettiest Christmas songs. You're right.
I've got a couple of versions that are really quiet. Like one's on a piano, one's on a guitar, and it just really gives you time to, I don't know, just relax. And it's a beautiful song.
That's sometimes Christmas can be so chaotic and so much stimuli, and so I
Mhm.
feel something like that where you really just are present and relaxing, and yeah, that's a
Yeah.
wonderful.
I was gonna say, the song, "It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas," that it was written by the guy who wrote the Music Man.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and then he's from Iowa, so that's, our connection there. So
That is so cool. What a cool little fact to know. I didn't realize that.
yeah, I actually just found that out a couple weeks ago. I was doing something for the podcast and happened to see that Meredith Wilson wrote "It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas," and I'm like, wait a minute, the Music Man guy?
That's cool. You know what? That makes sense then with the musical theater feel,
Hmm.
right? That would have that connection. Now it really does make sense.
Yeah. So here's a hard one for you. Candy canes, yuck or yum?
Yum! Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, I had to really go deep and think about that one.
Hmm.
There is yum.
Yep.
I like all the flavors. How about you? Are you a typically peppermint person or do you like cherry and
Yeah, I think I'm more of a traditionalist. I like just the peppermint. Then there's some really gross kind out there you can get.
yeah, there is candy corn flavored. I don't know about that.
Mm.
I'm brave enough to try that. Heard- like, oh no, candy canes.
So I think I just mostly will stick with the traditional mint flavored or peppermint. Yeah. I'm going to kind of tailor this more for you. The original question is, what's your favorite Christmas movie? But since you're into musicals, do you have a favorite Christmas musical?
I really love White Christmas. I think first of all, like the era, the outfits and the feeling and the way they talked and danced, and I love White Christmas, and I grew up watching that every year with my mom. That was like our mother-daughter thing.
Mhm.
um Bing Crosby. I just love White Christmas. That would be mine. Do you have one too?
I'm not sure. I've seen some Christmas related musicals, but I don't know if I've seen any that have really captured my attention. The Muppets Christmas Carol, that
That
counts as a.
that's a great one. Place. A lot of our cast talks about that one.
That's such a good one. And it's actually a pretty good adaptation of the story too.
I think they've really got everything. Some of those ghosts are very scary though, and they should be more lovely, I think, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're speaking from experience now as a ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah. Are definitely not scary. She's a little silly.
All right, I gotta come out there and watch it sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, that would be wonderful. I'm sure we'll have some more videos and stuff posted too.
Great. Okay, last couple of questions. One is, how can we best show kindness to others at this time of year?
I think that is, first of all, great question. I think it's in the small ways of reaching out and just, like I kind of mentioned earlier, making people feel seen, making people feel special and loved. So, like a text, or if you know someone's favorite drink, getting them that like order in the morning, or, just offering to help decorate, bake cookies or brownies together.
Mhm.
Just those things that say, like, hey, I see you and I want to do this part of life with you.
Yeah, and I've said before on our podcast and just in life too. I think one of the best things we can give people is our time. That's got to be the most valuable thing.
I absolutely love that. Yep, you're right. That goes such a long way. Wow.
Final question here: what makes Christmas cozy for you?
Ooh, I think it's getting into pajamas that are so soft and oversized, cuddling up on the couch next to my husband and watching Hallmark movies. I start those super early in the year, end of October, much to his chagrin, but he is so kind and watches them with me. Of course, I have to drink hot cocoa or eggnog or something. Yeah, those Hallmark
Mhm.
movies really get me every time.
Mhm. You know a mile away how they're going to end most cases, but
Yeah,
you still love it.
they're so predictable, they're so cheesy, but they, like, speak to my little heart, and I love the joy and, like, the happiness that they all end with.
Yeah, you didn't need something positive once in a while. So
Yes, it's kind of just a step away from the stressors of life and, like, Hallmark world.
exactly. All right. Well, that is most of the questions I had. This was the first time I decided to ask these, so might have to winnow it down a little bit here. So
Great questions, though. I did expect, quite a bit of those.
yeah, well, I found a lot of them online. I added a couple myself, and it might be just an evolving questionnaire here. Well,
I think you should definitely keep using it. That's a great way to, chat and bring up topics and get to know your guest and you.
yeah, half the time it's like I have all these questions in my head, and then when it's time to hit record, I'm like,
Yeah, I think you're really great. Really, you're so good at flowing and asking questions. It's always fun to chat with you.
oh, good. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time to be on today. And I know your voice is probably saying, "Let me sleep."
She's a little tired, but that was absolutely worth it. Maybe I'll have some hot cocoa or tea after this and watch a Hallmark movie. I think that's a good way to end the day.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Well, if folks want to find you online, what do you have online that you want to promote or let us know about?
Yeah, sure. I have so for Instagram and for TikTok, I'm at Sarah Joy in the City, and that's Sarah, Sarah. I'm not necessarily in New York City anymore, but I do still have the handle Sarah Joy in the City. And then my website is sarahjoykane.com, and that's like candy cane but with a K, Kane. .com, and I'll post, what new shows I get to do, and all the happenings, and maybe another Christmas album if we decide to record one.
Mm. Now, is that album somewhere we can purchase, or is that just a personal one for you too?
Yeah, we just recorded it for friends and family for Christmas and kind of sent it out. But I will be posting it this year actually.
Okay.
Just for this season. So yeah, that'll be on the website.
All right. Well, I'll keep an eye out for that. I've I've heard clips of your singing, and you got a beautiful voice. So
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I love to sing those Christmas carols, so thank
yeah.
you.
All right. Well, Sarah, you take care and have a very Merry Christmas this year.
Thanks so much, Art. You too. And thanks again for having me on.
You're welcome. All right. Take care.
Bye.
I love having Sarah on. We just end up laughing so much, and it's so funny how you're able to make friends and acquaintances with people that you never have met in real life and that live, sometimes clear on the other side of the world, but you're able to keep in touch and you're able to enjoy shared interests. And as you saw in the quiz, Sarah and I had a lot of similar favorite things. And that's one of the things I'm thankful for about this podcast. Make sure you head over to thevillagecollector.com. I will have some new posts there throughout the month. I got a little behind on stuff over November, but I will certainly have some up here December time for you to enjoy some little bit of different content than what you get on the podcast. Also, make sure to follow me on YouTube if you haven't already. I will be posting a couple more Book Corner videos there throughout this month. And there's also might be one or two video version of a couple of episodes that I've done in the past. So you will want to, if you're interested, you can check that out. All right, that'll do it for me today. Please do check out the show notes. You can find there ways to help support the show, as well as our guests who come on the podcast. Be lots of links there for you. I have an Etsy store. I have a t-shirt merchandise store, and also any donation made on Ko-fi.com. I'll send you a bookmark and sticker with a Christmas card. You can check out the details below and make sure you send me a message on. If you do that, send me a message with your address and I'll make sure that gets out to you. So thank you so much for listening. And I just want to remind you to be kind to each other and to do good. And let us remember to honor Christmas in our hearts and try to keep it all the year. Have a very Merry Christmas.